Let's talk about what might just be the most productive time of your day, those hours when you are completely, totally unconscious. You see, deep sleep isn't just about resting. It's an active, critical maintenance sequence. It's your brain's nightly reboot. So let's dive into how it all works.
So let me ask you this. What if your brain's most important, most crucial work happens while you're completely out of it? Well, the answer seems to be a huge yes. While you're off in dreamland, your brain is running this incredibly sophisticated mission to clean out all the junk from the day and reorganize all its files. Pretty amazing, right? Let's take a look at how it pulls this off every single night. All right, so first things first, we have to understand that just being awake, it comes with a cost. There's a biological price we all have to pay every single day. I want you to picture your brain during the day like a super busy city. You got neurons firing everywhere, signals zipping back and forth, you're learning new things, forming connections. It's this massive, nonstop hub of activity. But just like any busy city, all that work produces a ton of trash. This trash is actually metabolic waste, the byproducts of all that incredible mental effort. So how in the world does this nonstop city actually shut down for the night? Well, it needs a massive chemical shift. It needs a master switch to flip the brain from being on to being in maintenance mode. You know, all of your brain's activity is controlled by chemicals called neurotransmitters. The easiest way to think about them is as go signals and stop signals. And for you to fall asleep, those go signals have got to quiet down, and the stop signals, they need to take over. And you can see that huge chemical shift right here. During the day, it's all about those go signals, keeping you alert and active. But to get to sleep, the brain releases a flood of something called GABA, which is its main stop signal. Think of GABA as the master brake pedal for your brain. It just quiets everything down, and that's what allows the brain to finally enter that deep, restorative state. Okay, so with the brakes on, we can finally get to the main event of our nightly journey, the deepest, most restorative stage of sleep there is. We're talking about slow wave sleep, or SWS. If you were to look at the brain's activity during this time, you'd see these big, rolling, synchronized waves. Now, this is not a passive state at all. It's actually a highly organized, very active period where the brain systematically starts its most important repair work for the night. So what exactly is this work? Well, the brain's night shift has two critical jobs that it does at the same time. It's basically a cleanup crew and a master librarian all rolled into one. Let's start with the janitorial service. Every single night, your brain has a really important job, taking out all the trash that's been building up while you were awake. And this whole process is managed by something called the glymphatic system. The best way to think about it is like the brain's plumbing. It uses this clear liquid, cerebrospinal fluid, to literally wash through all the brain tissue and flush out all that metabolic waste we were talking about earlier. And what's just incredible is how deep sleep physically changes the brain to make this cleaning possible. As you can see here, channels literally open up. Special brain cells called astrocytes actually shrink to create more space. And the flow of that cleaning fluid just dramatically increases. The whole system gets an overhaul, and it's all optimized for one single purpose: a deep, thorough clean. So it all comes down to this crucial three-step process. First, brain cells shrink, which increases the space between them by, get this, up to 60%. Second, this allows that cleaning fluid, the CSF, to just rush into those new spaces. And third, it flushes away all this harmful gunk, like beta amyloid and tau proteins, which, as you might know, are famously linked to some really serious neurodegenerative diseases. So while the cleanup crew is working hard, another team comes on duty, the librarian. And this team's job is to manage the brain's absolutely massive collection of information and memories. This quote really just gets right to the heart of it. Plasticity is just a fancy word for how the brain learns, by making and strengthening connections. But doing that all day long, it's incredibly expensive. It uses a huge amount of energy, and it takes up a lot of physical space in the brain. Just look at this comparison. During the day, our brains are constantly strengthening connections. But if that just went on forever, our brain circuits would get totally saturated and noisy, right? So, during deep sleep, the brain performs this big renormalization. It very wisely scales down the overall strength of our connections, which clears the slate and gets us ready to learn all over again tomorrow. But here's the key. This is not just a blind delete all function. The brain is incredibly smart about this. While it's weakening the less important connections, it's also strengthening the most important ones. It's basically moving the key files from a temporary folder, like your computer's desktop, to a permanent hard drive for long-term storage. And this amazing process, it's called systems memory consolidation.
Okay, so we've got a cleanup crew and a librarian working all night, every night. Why is protecting their work so important for our health?
Well, the real-world impact is huge. That waste protein that's being flushed out every night, beta amyloid, that's the primary hallmark of Alzheimer's disease. We also know that when deep sleep is impaired, it directly impacts our ability to learn and remember things. So getting quality deep sleep isn't a luxury. It's absolutely essential for keeping our brains healthy and functional as we get older.
And hey, if you need any more proof of just how vital this stage of sleep is, just look at this number. When somebody is sleep deprived, their brain doesn't try to recover all the stages of sleep equally. No, it aggressively prioritizes getting back its deep sleep first, recovering about 68% of what was lost. That is a powerful biological signal telling us that this is non-negotiable.
So, deep sleep isn't passive rest. It's an active, nightly therapy session that cleans, organizes, and resets our most vital organ. And all of this leaves us with one really crucial question. Knowing just how important this process is, what are you going to do tonight to protect and optimize your own deep sleep?